So, best Bible translation. What is the best Bibles for 2026? Best, or even best Bible of those translations. Hopefully, I can help give you some direction on those questions today. If you've seen our other video, did it last week on two best Bible translations. I mentioned in the video it was the ESV and the BSB, English Standard Version, Berean Standard Bible. So I got to thinking about it. I was like, well, why don't I just do a second video? Got a lot of great response, got good feedback, a lot of great viewership on that first video. So I thought that I would do a second video. And the reason why I thought I'd do a second video, not that my personal choices have changed for the year, but maybe you like the ESV. Maybe you know more about the Bible translation topic. Maybe you know more details, more facts, more things about the manuscript history of Bible translations. And maybe the ESV is not your first pick. Because remember, the reason I'm recommending two is because there is benefit in seeing how a verse can be translated, and kind of like an NIV versus New King James or King James type of thing. There is some benefit to that. Like I said, I think I said in the first one, I tend to like a more literal word for word form of Bible translation. King James, New King James, ESV type, That's kind of like my main choice that I really like. That's also my background, so, I come from that type of framework. Thing is, maybe you don't. Maybe English is not your first language. Maybe you did not grow up in that kind of environment. And so maybe something like an NIV, CSB, BSB is going to be your first pick. So that was my thought process. So if I was going to recommend two other translations, what would they be? The first is the New King James Version. And I'll have another video coming on King James onlyism. I'm probably going to do another one of that because sadly that topic is ever expanding. But the New King James Version is an excellent translation. This particular Bible, I think it's my favorite New King James Version Bible. It is the McLaren series. Yes, the McLaren series. You can get this on Amazon right now for $26. Incredible deal. Because this has premium Bible paper. Okay, like 36 GSM. Can kind of see there the blue highlights. It's 10.5 point font. It's, a nice, good, get a good grip on it. The cover it's a leather soft cover. So it is a imitation leather, but it's an excellent cover. Just a beautiful Bible. Thomas Nelson did amazing on that. This does have references. So this is one of those Bibles where if you could only have one for the rest of your life and it had to be New King James, I would pick this one. References are at the bottom of the page, along with the footnotes. Just info about the New King James real quick. One reason why this would be the first option. Yes, New King James. It is an update of the King James. You have the same theological meaning of the King James, but the wording is updated to a more modern English. It's not going to be as modern as the ESV. The ESV is going to have more current language. The translation was done in 1982 is when it was completed. It's the underlying manuscripts in the New Testament are the same as the King James, but it includes more translation work from the manuscripts that would be what is now called the majority text. And the nice thing about the New King James is the footnotes. On the New Testament, it has footnotes showing you the difference of the Textus Receptus, which is under the King James, the majority text, and the critical text. It will show you the different variants. So if you're studying and you're wanting to know, well, how does this read in, another type of translation, it tells you. It's an excellent Bible. It's great to memorize from. I've heard of some people that memorize verses. They use the New King James. It's not the only one, but it just does well for that. It has the modern accuracy with the poetic structure of the King James Bible. It's a great translation. The verses that are missing in the NIV, the ESV, those verses are still intact in the New King James, and that's because of the underlying manuscripts. But so that's the first one. Moving along here. Oh, and by the way, if you don't want the references, and 10.5 point font is not as good, I showed this Bible in the first video. It's the New King James giant print thin line. It's going to have the footnotes at the bottom of the page, but it is a 12 point font. So if the 10.5 is not big enough, there is a 13 point font New King James giant print reference edition. I haven't gotten that yet. I've got my eye on it. Looks like a very nice Bible. That could be another all-you-need Bible, so to speak. So, a companion translation to go with it. I had the BSB with the ESV in the first Bible. So, CSB is what I would recommend to go with the New King James. CSB, it is, a lot of people say that this is like an original translation. It is working off of the HCSB, the Holman Christian Standard Bible, that was done around 2002, something like that. This was completed, this update, they dropped the H, so it just became CSB. This update was completed in 2017. It is probably number 5 on the Bible translation selling list. It's a great translation. It's not my favorite translation. If you're going to read it for like an easier reading text, I'll be honest with you. I mean, there's places where I'm not saying it's not as good as, or like the NIV is better, but to me, it's like if I'm reaching for a translation like this, I might as well just use the NIV. The plus, so it is kind of similar to the NIV. The plus about it, though, is that it does retain more masculine language. I mentioned that in the first video. It does retain more masculine language. It's not going to have as much masculine language as the New King James. I'm just going to tell you right now. But it does retain more masculine language than the NIV and the NLT. Those two translations don't have a lot of masculine language at all. But this particular Bible, the CSB, it's in a nice imitation leather. I think it's the burnt sienna color or something. But this is actually a very useful Bible. It is a 13-point font, giant print reference. I like big font Bibles. The references, if you can see it, is at the end of the verses. So very useful format. The CSB also has a lot of good footnotes. So if you're somebody who you're really reading it, you want to get into it, you want to study it. Like this is just an example from Isaiah 19. Those are the footnotes that are at the bottom of the page. If you can see that right there. It's just a very, very useful Bible. It is a very good translation. I'm not saying it's not a good translation. It's very accurate. If you could kind of picture this, so if you know anything about Bibles, the NASB 95 is regarded as one of the most accurate modern Bibles. I would venture to say that this CSB is almost like a Sunday school version, if you will, or just a slightly less collegiate, if I could say that. Maybe like a less, I can't think of the word. Basically, a little bit less academic and a little bit more free flowing, easier to read than the NASB 95. The sentence structure in the verses is actually quite similar. Like I say, it's not my first pick for a dynamic translation. But it is very, very good. I would prefer the BSB over the CSB. I just think that the reading is more smooth. But I mentioned audio Bibles in the first video, and the CSB audio Bible is very good. I will say it is very good. It's good to listen to. It's great in the Psalms. I've listened to the book of Genesis in the CSB. Very good. So yeah, New King James Version would be number 1. CSB would be number 2. Those are the two translations that I would recommend if you didn't like the choices from the first video. So let me know in the comments what you guys prefer to read. I'm sure I'm just going to get some good old King James only bashers in the comments. Certainly got a lot of those in the first. Anyway, God bless y'all. Get into your Bible, read it, eat it up, study it. Does you no good. Someone commented on the first video, the best Bible translation is the one that you'll actually read, and that is true, within reason. It needs to be a safe translation. These two are safe, and that's what I'd recommend. I'll see you guys in the next video.